Welcome to the Growth Network and welcome to Teacher Tips number 6, our opportunity to consider some of the themes raised in each chapter of the 5 dysfunctions of an SLT. And our tip this week is to take a personality test. Now, we often use the phrase, you make all the difference, but to make that difference, it really helps to know yourself and the difference that you can make. For years after becoming a teacher and a school leader, I understood that I was good at certain things like planning and data, but at the same time I knew I had a bad temper which got me into trouble and undermined other things I was trying to do. I wasn't unaware of my strengths and weaknesses, but taking a personality test somehow made a big difference to my understanding of my value to the school community. The question Katniss asks is fundamental. What difference does this make to our daily work in school or in our personal lives? Now, perhaps surprisingly, it can make a lot of difference, and for two main reasons. One, it tells you what you are good at, and therefore what you may wish to accentuate. And second, it gives you permission to accept the areas where you are less strong. There is a surprising degree of freedom in each, although this is not about permission to let go of the areas in which you're not naturally strong. It's about permission to ask for help. Having a clear idea of each person's strengths enables a team to organise itself to make best use of those strengths. Eustace is great at data, but not at motivating students. Billy is perhaps the opposite. We can see this in the roles they've chosen to pursue. But there is some resentment between the two, with the perception from Billy that Eustace is getting away with doing less, and a sense of guilt on Eustace's part that he could be doing more. Perhaps both are right, but the answer doesn't lie necessarily in Eustace spending more time supporting students. The answer is to find ways to use both Billy's and Eustace's strengths in a complementary way. Eustace is in a great position to supply data to Billy, which might help to focus the support he's given. He'll be able to tell Billy where certain students are facing challenges. Are they missing certain lessons or days of the week? Are problems arising more often with certain teachers? Billy, in turn, can guide support to where it's needed. The issue Billy is facing is that he's being led by the problems. That means he's always busy and rarely has a sense of being on top of his work. Eustace could make a huge difference to that, helping Billy to develop the discipline to begin with the evidence and get support in place before problems happen. It could also help Billy to delegate and be on time to meetings. Eustace, on the other hand, can certainly be helped in his relationships with students. Billy might be able to return the favour here with some coaching on how to deal with specific issues. It might also be useful for both of them to reflect on the relationship between their motivation and their character. Eustace, for example, is ambitious, but his tendency is to focus on the plan rather than the person, hence the blow-ups. I can relate to Eustace, and completing this test helped because it helped me to accept both where I needed help and what I had to offer. Perhaps the greatest relief came from knowing that I didn't have to be good at everything. All this can be just as useful in our personal lives. Have you ever wondered why you're always late? Or why you're always the one organising everyone else? Why certain issues with family or friends tend to please or annoy you? A personality test can shed some light on these questions and give a little freedom from the guilt of just not being very good at some things. But more importantly, it can help you find your place and see the value that you are bringing. Knowing and valuing your contribution might help burnout because it reminds you of your value and it connects you to a wider vision. Being clear about this is a reminder that without you playing your part, the people you live and work with would be worse off. Remember, you make all the difference.